Welcome to the Powerful Marketing Tips podcast. I am your host, Mari-Liis Vaher. So at the end of the day, marketing is built on real people and real relationships. We have created Powerful Marketers Hub, so marketers don't have to build their systems all alone, but they can do that alongside with other experts. So joining me today is Robin Hawksworth, founder of Nexperience, Powerful Marketers Hub ambassador and guest host for our upcoming season. So Robin works at the intersection of brand strategy, choice architecture, and customer experience. Welcome to the show, Robin. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. We are so happy to have you here. So could you please just briefly walk us through your own journey and background in marketing? How did you ended up in marketing at all?
That's what I find the most interesting question, because my background was never in marketing. My background was in hospitality. I traveled the world for 20, 25 years, Australia, Asia, Middle East, the Caribbean, back to the UK. And I noticed when I was in my last job in the Middle East, we had 20 outlets to fill. We had a nightclub, we had industrial catering, we had a 550-room hotel, restaurants, bars. And when I got there, the first thing I noticed was that the marketing held on to everything. An agency held everything. So we looked at it and we decided, no, this is not right. Because one thing that hospitality teaches you is human psychology. Why people do what they do, not what they say they do. So I got rid of the marketing agency. We pulled everything in-house. We taught the secretaries and the assistants to use Adobe programs. Twitter and Facebook were our two mediums at the time, and text. Because when you're in the hotel industry, you know you've got to fill a seat. Everyone can fill a seat at a weekend. But you have to fill seats on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You have to get creative. You have to build something new, something that customers don't know they need until they try it. And when I sat there doing my long days, 6 days a week in the Middle East, 14 hours a day, I thought, you know what? Marketing's fascinating. Why do people come to us and not go to the Four Seasons or go to the brand new 5-star hotel that's just been built? And you start to see patterns. Then when my wife and my family, we moved back to Estonia, I did a bit of consulting with hospitality. And then I thought, marketing is what I love. People are what I love. So then I created my own company. Then I went to work with a couple of startups, helping them with sales, helping them try and establish partnerships. And then for the last 2 years, I basically focus on Nexperience, which for me, it's what I always say is that what we're trying to do is help you create the next experience for the next customer that comes through your door or touches your website. Hence, Nexperience. So right now, I'm looking to find customers who are interested in the human psychology as well as the marketing side, because I think it's fascinating that everyone's dived into digital media over the last 10 years. And now I see the pendulum swinging back to the human side. What really triggered the change in the 1950s and 60s in America, the 80s and 90s in the UK and Europe. We're coming back to that. We're coming back to creativity. We're coming back to a place where you need to be distinctive. You need to be rememberable, and not just by hitting people over the head with adverts, more of saying, okay, if I'm going to get a customer and I need to increase this, where's that coming from? What's in it for them? So that's where I'm at in a quick 5-minute nutshell.
No, I love that. And I love how you started. Marketing is fascinating. I agree with you here. And I cannot really draw a line, hospitality, marketing, Nexperience, branding. Maybe we could dive into that a little bit, just to make it clear for the listeners, because I know that you're into this human psychology, but also you are a branding expert, and I have seen you talking about branding a lot. So could we discuss, or what are your thoughts around what is marketing, what is branding, what is hospitality? They're all intertwined. Let's be honest.
That's the big question that you see every day on LinkedIn, I guess. What is branding? Branding to me is something that is created over time. You say branding these days and people think, oh, I'm going to create a brand, I'm going to do a logo, I'm going to do assets, I'm going to create this. But for me, a brand is built over years of experience. The product creates the experience. The experience creates the reputation, and over time, the reputation delivers you a lasting brand. So for me, that's what branding is. It's about, is your product any good to start with? And then when you talk to branding, then you go into customer orientation. What are the customers talking about us? What are they saying about us? What do they need from us? Then you go into the research. Then you go into seeing what you actually have. Then you start touching on the assets. Then you start touching on the rememberable things about you. What are you distinctive from everybody else? No one's unique. Anybody can be copied and made cheaper. And then you start to look at things like the 4 Ps, which are still applicable all these years later. Price, where you're going to be, where you're going to show up, how you're going to promote yourself. And then we get into, I draw a line between marketing and advertising. And a lot of people have forgotten this or they don't see it. For me, advertising is the voice of marketing. The adverts that you send out, the communication that you send out to try and get attention from people, that's advertising. That's only an eighth of marketing. 92% is asking the questions. Whys? How come you're doing that? Researching, talking to the people that make the product. Why do they make it? What's special about it? So for me, marketing it cannot be defined in a sentence. For me, it's investigation. It's asking questions to reach to a place where you understand your customer and they can understand you. How that fits into my hospitality past is you have to understand your customers, because you know you can't rely on regular customers because they will come to you anniversaries, birthdays, once a month, once a year. They won't turn up every day. So all the time, you've got to be fishing for those 95% of other people who might want to try you for the first time. So that's where I connect the two in my mind.
No, that's really good. I love how we put it, that advertising and marketing are different. And 100%, I agree with you. But how come it is still so that when we talk with business owners, we still see that they want marketing, but when they say that, they mean they want somebody taking care of their ads and their social media. So that's what I see.
I would totally agree with that, especially in the Baltics, especially this part of the world. It's, the answer's brand, what's your question? The answer's Facebook, Meta, Instagram. What were you saying? What did you ask a question? Marketing can solve a business problem. Advertising doesn't. Advertising is, well, you know yourself, 98% of advertising you don't remember the next day. People choose the digital route because it's easy and it can be measured in ways that you ask it to be measured. So if I'm trying to keep my job as a marketer, I can say, I can get you, 1 million likes or 1 million looks at what I'm doing. Doesn't mean it's good. What I would look with customers, I would say, look, if you're going the digital route, what matters is who shares you, who passes it on, because that is the human aspect. If you do something that someone's willing to share or willing to say to their friends, hey, look at this, that means you're doing a good job. If it's someone just liking, like as they scroll, half asleep at night, a monkey could do that. I'm sorry to say, it's fascinating.
True.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. I was just saying that I agree with you. And it is inconvenient to ask difficult questions about your own business, right? So it's so much more easier to put another Facebook post out there and hope for the best. But
I think it's the people are trying to rely on return on investment. They're always looking at the ROI, and the ROI on marketing can take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years to get back. People are staying online. You're getting metrics back straight away. Oh, it's working, but it's not. The platforms are giving you metrics. I read something last week that 98% of the marketing spend in the UK is irrelevant. People don't remember it. Well, say not 98%, but they'll remember the 5% of the adverts or the 7% of the other adverts. The 87% they will not remember. And then the Marketing Association in England said, but no. We're doing a good job because 2 years ago, £7.5 billion of advertising went to bots, to hidden accounts that were not real. And they said, look, we've got it down to 6 billion this year. So they're admitting there's still 6 billion pounds of waste that people are putting into social media that doesn't hit a human's eyeballs at all. And that's scary. That's really scary.
Such a shame. But also, how can we help the people who are listening right now thinking, okay, if you say that advertisement is not marketing, so what should I do? Because I have a feeling that people still don't get what does it mean to build long-term marketing? What does it mean to build branding? And especially the word branding, I feel like people are afraid of that because they feel like this is something only very, big corporations can build because it looks like a very fancy thing in your business. But the way you put it, you use the word reputation. And I think it really hits the nail here. It really says what the branding is all about. So how to build that long-term reputation in your business if we are not using ads?
I think it's you've got to have a long-term approach for a start. Your product's got to be good. That goes without saying. Or your service has got to be good. That goes without saying. But if you look at what people say are standout brands of today, like everyone says Apple as an example. Noel runs out and buys an iPhone 17 if the first iPhone was rubbish. But over the years, they have stayed consistent for the last 20, 25 years. The first time I used an Apple product was at school in a computer session. We were one of the first years in England to get computers. And we used an Apple II. That was too many years ago for me to care about now. But over time, they've built product on top of product on top of product. And if you notice, their message has never changed. What a lot of companies I find they do is they start off with a decent product. They have a message. They hire an agency. They create a nice campaign, a nice message for them. A marketing person will come in at the company and change. They will change agency. They will change message. The customer sees a message that could be 2 years old, still floating around the internet, and it doesn't tally with what they're doing today. So for me, if I'm going to build a long-term brand with a customer, the first thing I would start with questioning, where do you want to go with this? Where do you want to be in a year's time? Where do you want to be in 2 years' time? Where's your customer base? How are you selling it? Where can I find it? Because nobody buys a product through marketing or advertising. Nobody. Nobody says, oh, wow, look, I've just seen this amazing product. If they go to the shop and it's not there, they're not going to buy it. If it's not in your size, it's not in your color, it's not in the shops by you, you're not going to buy it. For me, marketing and advertising gives you that little unfair advantage. It's nudging the customer every time they see you to reiterate who you are. Then when you are in the market, there's a chance that you might remember them, a slight chance that you might remember them. So if you're a young brand, you have to play in the first 4 or 5 years. Then you have to find to say, look, no, this is what we're settling on. This is how we're going to be remembered for. And then it's 7 years of a slog, 7 years of the same message without getting bored, without saying, oh, I see that every day, I'm bored now. It's a long slog to build a brand. But people expect, you go online, you go on a TikTok shop, you get a viral moment, bang, you're born. Nobody buys Labubu for the same price 2 years later.
No, I think that's really good, what you're sharing. But people are all about, getting that sales today, right? There's so much like anxiety on the marketplace. This is what I feel. And the digital world and the AI and it all, makes it even worse for us. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah, I would agree. But then you have to split your strategy into the short term where you can get sales, but also put money into the long term. You can't just, like I see a lot of companies do, put it all into digital. And there's a lot of waste. But if you've got to put some into long term as well, because when you start going short, especially from what I've seen around our areas, that sales sign comes up too often. 20% off, 2 for 1, buy Friday. I walked around the centre of Tallinn yesterday. All the shops have already got their back to school discounts running. They've already got their big posters outside saying we're on sale. So yes, revenue is needed, but revenue at a discount hurts your profit. Companies fail over time because they don't keep their profit margin in check, not their revenue, their profit. So it's balancing that. Yes, we need sales today. So we're going to put 40% of our money there. 60% of our money is going to be on building a lasting campaign, a lasting message. So we survive.
No, that's really good. So 40-60 rule.
That's for most sectors, but obviously other things change. Depending on what you say.
Love that. So Robin, you're also a member of Buffer Marketers Hub yourself.
Yes.
And I know that you, besides the branding and the hospitality, you talk a lot about human connection in your work, right? So why is it valuable for businesses to have those, safe community spaces to test their messages maybe before putting them in front of the market, or having this tribe, where they should belong? Let's talk about the human connection part also.
It's relationships. It's relationships. It always has been. If I have an idea and I want to try out, I can call you. I trust your opinion. I've known you for a while. I trust your opinion. That's a key when you're a little unsure that what you're doing is a little bit too risky, or you're stuck on a problem. You could ask someone within the hub and say, look, I don't want your paid advice. there's something here that I'm close to, but what do you think? And that person could give you a totally 180 different view and say, Robin, that would work in England, but not in Estonia. Why? Our culture's different. That joke doesn't land. There's that human, honest connection. But also I see in the hub, there's teachings, there's learnings, there's interviews in the paid side of the hub. But even in the free side of the hub, I wish people would use it a little bit more. But you can reach out to people and say, hey, I see you're in the medical profession. I have a client, I've never done medical before. It's still marketing, but what are the nuances? Can you give me some tips? Can you lean in, help me a little bit? After we did that event together, I connected with everybody in that room, shared a few messages. People told me what they were doing. Somebody asked for a little bit of advice, and we give it. It's generosity. When you have a community, you can be generous. And when you're generous, everybody takes something away from it, including the person who's offering the advice.
That's really good. And you're also about to co-host something for our podcast here. So tell me.
I am.
Tell me a little bit, what are your thoughts for that? Or do you have any ideas about the industries or about the topics you want to share with our listeners? Or is it something you are still working on?
It's something I'm still working on, but as I said when we first met, I would like to guest host a podcast and interview somebody in the local market, somebody right here in Tallinn who's in the industry, has their own agency, and also works into the Baltic areas. And then I would like to interview someone with more international reputation, somebody who's been in an agency for 20, 25 years, who is willing to share what they've learned. Because agency life is difficult, as marketers will tell you. I've been in and around 4 or 5 agencies in a hub when I had my old office in Tallinn. And it's nice to learn what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong. Our big clients coming to the Baltics and saying, well, we just need our international marketing translated. Or are they looking for cultural references? Are they looking for a bit of cultural uplift? So that would be one side of the podcast. And then the other side, the international, would be more, what can a young marketer do to get into the position you're in? What skills do you find are coming up next? How is AI really disrupting your business? Or is it just headlines? Those sort of questions that are on everybody's minds. Well, they're on my mind.
No, that sounds really interesting. I'm looking forward to these episodes. I'm sure it's going to be, great discussions around these topics.
As long as the guests say yes, we can do it.
So before we wrap it up here today, we always ask our guests to inspire our listeners. So please inspire us and share with us, what is your favorite quote that maybe guides your work And we also ask for a song that we can add to our Spotify playlist.
Okay, for a saying, I'm going to go really random and left field from a motivational speaker in America called Les Brown.
Mm-hmm.
He had a very bad upbringing, and then he became a motivational speaker. And he said once, let me see if I get this right. He said, if information could change everybody, we'd all be slim, happy, and rich. It's the action. In other words, it's information's great, but it's the actions you take that make the difference. You can learn everything from a book, but you've got to take the action. And I love that saying. Songs, I was going to go really old school here. I'm going to say Prince and Purple Rain.
Oh, that's
Because
good.
he's one of the only artists that I've seen in concert 4 times and was lucky enough to go to an after show party.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the man was a creative genius, and his music is still quite fresh when you listen to it. So
that's great. We didn't have Prince in our list, so
you haven't got Prince on your list?
No, we didn't have it. So now we have it, and we have music from Metallica to even classical music. So it's really
Brilliant.
interesting list.
Eclectic mix.
Yeah. And I find that quote also really, truly inspiring. And I've never heard that earlier, to be honest. So that's really good. So thank you so much, Robin.
No problem. My pleasure.
I will give you the word to wrap it up as well. But right now, to our listeners, if you want to continue the discussion around marketing infrastructure alongside peers and build your professional authority or just build your network, please join us inside the Buffer Marketers Hub. Both Robin and I are active inside the community, so please come in and just start a conversation. So anything you want to add for a wrap-up here, Robin?
No, just reiterate what you said, underline it. Send us messages. Let's talk.
Let's talk, exactly. So all links along with Robin's quote and song selection will be available in the show notes next to this episode. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode, everybody.
Thank you. Goodbye.